Good evening, everyone.
What was that photo of Sandy?
So when I was making the intro before we came for season 3, at the last minute, I saw that picture on her Facebook.
Oh, no.
Oh, tell me. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Hold on. I don't think it's on our end.
Yeah. Unless your upload is like horrible.
There we go. It's
There you are.
Okay.
I wasn't sure.
What did we do?
No. So everyone, I usually go out once every show for whatever reason, whatever technological reason.
Gotcha.
And usually it's later on, but this one decided to go right at the beginning.
That's okay.
Hey, that'll work.
Good evening,
Just like-
Carrie.
He froze. Was it us?
No,
Oh,
it
is
was
Carrie
not.
here?
She's in the comments already.
CPJ,
so
she's
here.
everywhere.
Yeah, she is. So, everyone, we've got a pretty fun, exciting show. You'll notice that we have a couple people who are not here tonight, and that's okay. Sandy is out encouraging her son in San Antonio. He's in the band. He's in the marching band, and they got a contest down there. So he's there doing some practicing. And well, they were doing practicing this weekend and then competing today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe will be on shortly. He is working on his way to getting back home from a volleyball game. So you know how much he loves to play volleyball. But that's
he
cool.
Was playing? Was he given his 5%?
2%.
Okay. Like the milk?
It's so yes. It's terrible, I know, but it's his thing, and he's committed to it. So, but don't expect much more out of him than that, okay?
Yeah. No, I won't.
But
It's because he stays up all night editing.
He does. And you know what's so funny is there'll be nights where I call him. Like it'll be 1 or 2 in the morning. I'll be like, I grab my phone and I'll be like, "Hey, I know you're up. Can you take a call though?" Yeah. And so then we'll call, and I'm just shooting the wind with him, or I'm like, I'm editing something on my side, and he's doing something on his side. So we're just like, okay. And that's how our first episode came out when we were doing that. And I was like, okay, well, let's do this right now. And he was like, okay. And we did it. But when we were done, that's when I was like, I forgot to hit record.
Oh.
Yeah, welcome.
For 30 minutes on Zoom, he and I were bashing Cats, the movie, because it had just released.
Oh, don't tell William Helmuth that. It's like his favorite movie.
But I have no problems with the play.
No. The
musical.
movie specifically is what he loves. So give him plenty of trash for it. We do all the time.
Yeah.
We did plenty that night, but when we were done, I was like, okay, dude. And he goes, okay, I'm going back to editing. And we were just chit-chatting, and I look, and I'm like,
Hey, Joe. Guess what? Mr. 0%.
Thanks, John. Yeah, so he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I didn't hit it. I thought we hit it the whole time. So.
Dude,
Oh, man.
Actually, an interesting anecdote. Ross and I have a story like that was not so dire. It wasn't like a shoot. So thank goodness it wasn't bad. But Ross won a Dance Like Weird Al contest.
Okay. He said this wasn't dire. This is like the one thing in my life that there's...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A client wasn't like waiting
there was
for
no
us to do
money
that.
on the line.
There was no money on the line, but we went and did a meet and greet with Weird Al Yankovic, and 3 hours before...
You did?
Oh, yeah, dude. It was awesome.
What?
Summer of 2016, mandatory tour. And so the 3 hours before is like a pregame, and they did like a dance contest. They did a
tinfoil costume
contest. And then it's like, when you walk in, Jamie, it's like a traveling museum.
Yeah, it's a traveling Weird Al museum.
Yeah, literally. It's got all of his costumes from all the music videos. It's awesome.
Anyway,
Wow.
Moving on.
So Ross was in the dance contest, and he won a signed 8x10 of Weird Al. And we got done, and I'm like, and it started recording, and I was like, oh no! So I got the very end of it.
Oh.
And he was like, "Did you get that?" And he's having an asthma attack.
like
at this
asthma
point.
attack. I did the Weird Al high kicks, and I didn't pull anything. I thought I was going to
I
die.
know.
I thought I was going to die.
I wonder if anybody else there got it.
Man,
we tried to find it.
I looked all over Facebook. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
so rough, man.
close personal friends of Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay. Well,
We do that a lot.
So, everyone, as you can tell, we're just having a grand time tonight. We brought back some familiar faces that you've seen here before. Some great friends of ours. They came on. They knocked it out of the park the first time they were on. And we've had them join, one or both of them at different times and on different shows. And so tonight they're back because they have some exciting news that we're going to bring to you all tonight. And I honestly cannot wait to talk about this more in depth. I know we're already 6 minutes in, but like I want to get right into this. So just to let everyone know at home, check this out. Ross and Jacob Hamil, they started a band last year, right? And we all talk about let's start a band.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 2019. I'm already the year's already got.
Well, I mean,
whatever.
last year doesn't count. So to say we started it last year's accurate.
Oh, okay.
So 2020's.
Yeah, doesn't count.
It's when you really were able to get the work, a lot more work into it, right? So 2019 though, but these guys started a band. They got together, and then this week, their album drops. And let me tell you, I was so thrilled for them beforehand. But today, I got to listen to the full album, and I cannot tell you guys enough that this thing is so freaking awesome. Like, you can go to Spotify right now, and you can listen. They have 3 tracks out there that are like the pre-release tracks that, anyone can hear right now. Mm-hmm. And they're phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal. I was jamming to them, and then I was messaging these guys earlier, and y'all were like, dude, I was like, can I get a copy of the what's up, Joe?
Here's Mr. 1%.
I was like, can I get a copy of the record before Friday? And they're like, dude, you backed because they did their you did a Kickstarter.
Yeah, we
crowdfunded.
We crowdfunded the album.
And so because I put some on there, they were like, it's in your email. You got it. And I was like, wait, what? So I went this morning, downloaded it, guys, listened to it, and then I just couldn't stop listening to it all day long. And here's the part that I hate. With one day, I was trying hard to remember the names of the songs so I could talk about each of them, and I'm not going to remember it. So I'm going to just put that out there. I should have written notes.
If you have the it's not in there. I was going to say in the lyric booklet, it should be on there, but that's actually the back of the CD itself has the track list.
Yeah. So I've got oh gosh.
Wait a minute.
And I'm just going to show off the cover real quick.
I was able to listen to all of the songs off the website.
Oh, you can?
I don't know how, but I did.
I found out on accident that yes, but I fixed that today because like that shouldn't. It defaults to play the entire thing in a pre-release.
Oh, okay. Well, here, there you go.
Yeah, because I was like, I was like, and then I sent the link to a buddy of mine to listen, and he was like, it's only got 3 songs, but I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And I'm like, what? I listened to the whole thing, man.
There you go. Yeah, well, so yes, I'm so glad that we got that fixed before we spilled the beans here. I had no idea. Today was like, this whole week is...
I didn't mean to spill the beans. We'll cut.
Well, here's the thing. I fixed it. Like when you said
okay.
you listened to the whole thing, I was like, how did he do that? And went and looked, and I was like, crap. So dug in on the backside and turned it off. So like you get like 10 seconds of every song now.
Okay. Yeah, because I listened to it straight through.
Oh, great. Well, there you go.
So
Congratulations.
I wish I had done that because the way I had to listen to it was so crazy, guys. So the way that I had to download it, it didn't put it in order, numerical order. It did it like...
Really?
It was like 1, 2, 3... 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 6, 7, and I was like, why is it doing that? But I was like, I don't care. I'm still listening to it. It's still good. So,
I could not tell you. Honestly, the fact that you got the digital copy today is its own miracle. I mean, not just we've had so much going on and so much going into this.
Tell you the secret. I scheduled it several days ago.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad because it has been. Oh, hey, there's Sandy. Hey, Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
Long time no see.
Hey, Sandy.
We have so much going on right now with this album release that I'm just glad that we are in the home stretch.
You are, guys.
Away. Oh,
the guy you see walking around in the background's our bass player. We're actually rehearsing in this gymnasium. Mm-hmm. We've got it taped off. The size of the stage we're playing at Friday so we can actually practice basically it's a full dress rehearsal, but we're having to break it down tonight because
So
they've got
wish I was there
basketball in
Friday,
here.
guys.
Right.
I know. Joe
Did you
should
know-
be there.
Did you know that he was expecting the guy that walked behind? He was expecting, so just didn't know.
Yes, it's a beer baby.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You didn't see
He
him
said it,
earlier?
not me.
Anyway, look, I want to get into it because we don't get that much time. You guys have a hard stop. We
Yeah, we
not
do.
after the show's done. You have a hard stop, and I know traditionally with you guys, we usually end up going longer than we expect to. So,
3 hours.
Yeah, and then we go like this. Pew, pew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so with that, let me start off first. I want to share the cover. Is that okay?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, it is. It's, the cover is
absolutely.
public,
Oh, man.
so yeah. We
This
actually
thing looks so gnarly, dude.
we designed it ourselves, actually. So, Joe, you're gonna probably hate me for this, but
It's all photoshopped.
I love it is all photoshopped, but I'm telling you, the background image I got on Unsplash because Unsplash is free, royalty-free stock photos, and I
Right.
found it and I was like, I just love this. And so, if you look at it, the background is Unsplash, except that Ross did all of. So there's a Cerberus here. You can kind of see the eyes. There's 2 in the middle, then 1 on each side. So they're 2 of them are profiled to the
Here's the
camera. The
mouth
other one's
right there.
facing.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the mouth right
And
there.
then
And they're guarding the trunk underneath them.
yeah, which is the monster.
The monster.
Nice.
I thought that was the doors. I thought that was a doorway right there.
Yeah,
Nope,
so it's a trunk.
It's a trunk.
It's a trunk
Yeah.
or a locker.
And
yeah,
actually,
footlocker,
this is
yeah.
the second or third iteration of the cover. The original cover had actually more text on it. It's from the opening track called "The Fall," which is like an intro track to the CD, and it originally said, and the lyrics at the very end of that are.
Here's to your survival. Here's to the fall of your monsters.
So that's what it said originally on the album, and then it was kicked back to us, and they told us you can't do that. You can only have the name of the album for like digital distribution reasons.
Yeah,
I think it keeps-
iTunes. Ugh,
Yeah. Oh.
they're a pain.
Yeah, they are. So basically, we just scratched that, and now it just says Monsters, which works.
Are
for
we going to
us,
get a
so.
deluxe edition down the road that includes, or the director's cut?
You know,
You know?
I don't even have any idea.
That's
it depends
fine.
on how well we do.
Okay.
People keep asking us. I will dispel this. It's not even a rumor, but people keep asking. There is not a vinyl. There will not be a vinyl unless something just gigantic happens.
We would have to massively crowdfund just to do vinyl
Yeah.
because the cost of making them is astronomical. We would have
Yeah.
to sell them for at least $50 a piece.
if not more,
I'd buy
like
one for
75
50
or
just to let
100.
you know.
So
Well,
have
thank
to
you.
Sell a
Yeah,
kidney
totally.
or your first.
Sandy
Yeah,
would too.
pretty much. And even short run vinyl, we've heard people not have great experiences with them, and so I would be really hesitant to do it.
We do know a guy that owns a record store, so he might know the best way.
That's true. We do.
Around that.
Okay, so let me get you guys
Yeah,
back
let's-
on
yeah,
track.
sorry,
Hold on,
let's
hold
get
on.
to it.
It's
Come
okay,
on
that's okay.
now, what
No,
are
hold
we
on.
doing here?
So I still want to talk about the cover, though. I still want to talk about the cover. So help me out with this. Trying to take us on the journey of the album right now. Like, where did the cover come in first? Was one of the first ideas? Was it towards the end after all the music was done? And then why were you inspired for, Monsters? And if you have to share that at the end so we can go through the music, I'm fine with that too.
No, actually, it was an early idea I had. It didn't. The album was not even. I don't even know if we were a quarter of the way through writing it.
I don't even think.
And
we
like I had the idea before I even pitched it to you guys.
Yeah.
But I knew like we had just a handful of songs, and all of them were very specific to experiences that we've had, and hence the name Monsters. The album title is speaking to like all of our inner demons, our outer demons, bass players.
Yeah.
Brothers.
Brothers.
Yeah,
But-
except for that
but-
one, it's not actually. People
Yeah.
ask us all the time, "Is that song about me?"
No, it's
no.
not. It's not. So, like, it's about death, disease, toxic relationships. Just like cancel culture is one of the monsters on there. And so that every song is about a monster that one or multiple of us have faced. And so, like, when I first had the idea that there's a song called The Monster Within, and that was going to be the title of the album.
Okay.
And then we just shortened it to Monsters because that seemed to fit better and be more encompassing.
Yeah.
But I wanted, like, my original idea was to have kind of a Pandora's box with a Cerberus with his foot on it, keeping that thing closed because, you know, the Hounds of Hell or the Guardians of Hades or whatever, you know, one of the schools of thought is their job is keeping things in, not letting them out. Which that's also part of the name. Labor 12 is Hercules' 12th labor, which was the Cerberus.
Yeah.
And so,
Nice.
so yeah, that was kind of an idea I had, and we went through a lot just to get the album cover done. And then when Jacob, he brought the picture, and I was like, that's cool. Can I, you know, try to spice it up a little bit? And he was like, you know, knock yourself out. So I was at the lake, like in July, and found some vectors and assimilated, composited them in, and then added the glowing eyes into the trunk in there. Added the trunk, actually. That wasn't even part of it.
Yeah, so it's
and the blood.
And the blood.
The blood on the ground wasn't there either.
And the blood, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really crazy that it's
on the bloody footsteps. I forgot about those.
Oh yeah, it's really, I mean, it's cool. We also, the other big thing that we had to try to make happen with the album is we wanted it to be something that if we were kids and, you know, teenagers, our parents would be like, you can't have that. It's too dark.
We grew up in a really conservative household, so we wanted to make sure that we got, like, there's no foul language on the album.
Yeah.
It's, I would say, PG.
Yeah.
You know, for
I knew I really liked it for a specific reason.
But yeah, so like
we just wanted it to be something that kids could have, and their parents aren't like, you can't.
Like, if their
that.
parents read through it, like, they would really have to stretch to find any nefarious meanings in there.
Yeah.
So
on that topic, then let's transition going. Then, so you got the album cover. Take us through the first couple songs, however way you want, because I know that the beginning song is kind of like the intro. It's a traditional intro that I imagine with a lot of when I think of back in the 90s and stuff, you know. And so it leads into the music, which I thought was cool. I really like that. And so take us through your thought processes. You know, what were you wanting us to journey on? What are you hoping for? How, you know, what is that first track that leads into the first song? And again,
So
I'm sorry for the names.
No,
You're good.
it's fine.
You're
It's
good.
fine. The opening track is called "The Fall," and I don't even remember what that went through several names, and it was just something that I was just messing around at home one day and was like, you know, this could sound cool, and so I recorded it, and you know, let the other guys listen to it, and they're like, that's pretty cool. And I was like, well, would you guys have any issues if we just opened our shows with that? Like, it plays while we go on stage, and they're like, okay, that sounds cool. And originally it was just the speaking was like just hospital. It's called Walla in the film world. It was just sound effects of, like, if we were shooting a scene in a hospital and we wanted to hear somebody in the background talking, that's what we would put in. And so it didn't mean anything. And then right towards the end of recording,
It was in like July.
Very, very close
So I was
to
in
the
Indiana.
end. And I, like, the inspiration struck is like, I don't want it to mean nothing. So I wrote the words, and it's kind of I don't even know what the term is, but there's a school of thought that birds, the reason they sing in the mornings is to let their partners know that they made it through the night. And so that was kind of the inspiration behind that. And so it basically, you know, it just says, you know, we're here to fight the monsters. Not everybody's going to win, but here's to your survival, and here's to the fall of your monsters.
Yeah.
And
Real quick, Joe, if you can open up Spotify and grab the link for the songs that are free on Spotify and throw them in the comments so that everyone, you can go and check them out. Because
if you follow us on Spotify,
there's a pre-save link for the entire album too. That we can
and I've used those for other ones that it's
Yeah.
awesome because it automatically loads all the music up for me on release day. So if you have a paid subscription to Spotify like I do, then on Friday you're going to get that link. It's actually going to pop up on Spotify when you open it up. It'll say Release Radar and this.
It's on the homepage of the website.
So anyway, I wanted to make sure we put those out there so that as we're talking tonight, you
I
guys can go
appreciate
check
it.
that out, and maybe someone else has another phone nearby and you want to hear just as the guys are talking tonight, so you can get a feel for it. I think all 3 tracks that showed up on Spotify, out of this world. As soon as I started hearing the first one, I was like, holy snap, this is good. And then it just kept getting better. And I even messaged Joe and Sandy on the side this morning. I was like, guys, this song's freaking rock. I don't know if you've heard them, but I was like, go listen to them. They're so good. So anyway,
Thank
I'm sorry.
you. Yeah, no.
Okay, we go from the fall.
So we go from the fall into Wasteland, which that song just like it starts off. Bye, Tanner. Everybody say bye to Tanner, our bass player.
Bye, Tanner.
After
Oh,
packing
you
up
can come look at
everything he could pack up. But we.
Nice.
So
Lovely.
one of the things kind of behind the scenes, Jacob and I, not to disparage the other guys, but we do
Except
a
to
lion's
disparage
share. We do the lion's share of the work because we have a video production company. We know the marketing. I've been doing music for over 15 years, and this will be the 3rd album I've put out. So we had a lot
But also
of
the best.
experience coming into this. So the song order was actually one of the things that our drummer contributed.
Yes. Yeah.
So he was like, hey, I've been listening and I think we should do them in this order. And I
We
put
all
a
looked at it,
playlist
we were
together and listened. And I was like,
Okay.
I like the way it flows. So
Yeah, he did a great job with that.
so I don't know really what thought process was there. I think a couple of songs, Phoenix Dark Dirk and Head Rush, got switched at the end because of the way Head Rush ends. But yeah, Wasteland was an obvious starter just because after that, trilling noise at the end of the fall, the guitars just come in and punch you right in the freaking ears.
I totally that was totally inspired. If you ever want to hear the track that inspired it, is a song by Seven Dust called Splinter. It was on Cold Day Memory, and when they toured that album, they used that song, like the opening of it happens, and just like the way it just hits you in the face. I was like, I want to do that. So years ago, so Wasteland actually got written when I was in college, so almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
It was a long time ago.
Wow, you're way older than me.
Yeah, right, Joe. Oh man. And then we used it in 2017 and 2018 when we were doing work for Pennzoil.
Most of these songs were actually
Most
part
of the
that.
songs were used in that because we just had all these hard rock songs, and they wanted hard rock songs, and for their SEMA show
Hey, it's
stage.
just fast cars driving on video. So
Yeah.
what else do you put to it?
So Wasteland has been around for a long time, and I actually wrote it when I was listening to Cold Day Memory all the time. So, so it just.
Do you mind? I
right
want
in
to
the
just share the chorus with everyone. I just want to
Yeah,
say the words right
yeah.
here
Go
on
for
the side of it. So just so you guys can understand, or perspective here, the chorus reads, "You've got me trapped in your wasteland. You've made it perfectly clear that if I do not get my feet off the ground, you're going to make my world disappear." So here's the thing. I didn't get to hear the music in order, and it pained me today to do that. And every time I tried to get it in order on my phone, it was not working with me because I'd get a notification and it would stop the music and then rearrange it, and I was like, "What is going on here?"
really
So
odd.
Bizarre.
mine
and that's
MP3s
because it's
It's
because it's a
Android.
phone. It's
Yeah,
just the
man.
phone and anyway.
And technology.
Oh,
and,
and
It wasn't on the computer. You know what? Save your anecdotes for another time, Joe. Not right now, okay?
it's okay, Joe. We got them too. We'll just do our own show
So,
sometime.
and that makes me struggle not struggle. I'm a little excited now because although I got to hear the album, it'll be fun going back and actually listening to the order that the album has them in. Because the songs were great on their own, and you know, there were some that I really really liked, and some that I was like, I'm gonna make sure to ask those guys about tonight. And okay, so anyway, we go through Wasteland.
Keep moving.
I want to ask this. So I know I'm going to jump up a few songs. Okay, so we've got Wasteland is number 2, Suffocate's number 3, Psychophantic. Did I say that right?
Yep, correct.
Is number 4. Number 5. Please help me understand what that is.
Yes.
So
I know exactly.
I know that I wasn't supposed to listen to all this song, but I love the end of that song.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell everyone. So there's a song that he's playing, and I am like, this is silly a little bit, but then
it is totally silly.
But I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, it's a little catchy too.
It is. Oh my goodness.
So we are huge Rick and Morty fans.
Okay,
and,
that fits in perfect.
Yeah, and there's an episode. The episode may actually be called Get Swifty.
Yeah.
And these giant heads enter Earth's atmosphere, start messing with the climate, and basically it's this gigantic alien reality show that they like.
It's like America's Got Talent.
If a planet doesn't entertain these giant heads, they just obliterate them. And so Rick and Morty just invent this song "Get Swifty" on the fly.
Yeah, and it's horrible.
It's
awful.
terrible. It's so bad. But that song is specifically about cancel culture. But a lot of it's derivative. Actually, I wrote that song, the music for it, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
And like dug it out, and I was like, I could see getting swifty to this song. And so I was just messing around, and I was like, okay, guys, hear me out.
You know what? That was actually back with the original members. We've had that song. That's one of our longest.
It was
that we've had the longest. Yeah.
So so it is intentionally silly, but it's very much a slap in the face of. You can't, like, in entertainment, you can't have any fun anymore because people are going to get their feelings hurt. And it's like, come on, man. Like,
and what's funny is that specifically it happened to Rick and Morty, too. So the cool part about that is we went through all of the licensing steps to be able to record it, release it, stream it. It's like
it's
all
100%,
the legal.
It's 100% legal.
It is 100% like they can't come after us and say, the only thing is that if it just blows up, which would probably happen because Rick and Morty fans are crazy.
We'll have to renew the licensing.
We'll have to renew the licensing. But yeah, so we actually did it. In another funny anecdote, a very good friend of ours, a friend of mine from like elementary school, her mom backed the album. She was our largest backer. Mm-hmm. Her name is Beth Smith, which is Morty Smith's mother. So in Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And so with her fund specifically, we were like, we have to get the licensing for Swifty because Beth Smith paid for it. So
Rick and Morty fans are going to dig that.
Yeah.
I like what you said about how the underlying tone into it. And so just to give everyone drop another couple of the lyrics that are in here, and I need that's what you're going for, because it says, our lives are changing and we've made a world where nothing is safe. You speak your mind, and they just take it as a slap to the face. Mm-hmm. So you can definitely feel the underlying tone of what you're trying to deliver. And the way you do it is very clever because the song is catchy. And it gets to that,
it's very dancey.
Background.
It's like dance music. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which the original Get Swifty was. We just meddled it up a little.
Yeah.
So then it ends, and that's what Joe was talking about, right? What did you like about it, Joe? Why don't you tell everyone why?
So I was like, okay, this is kind of catchy, and then all of a sudden the ending, and I was like, oh, that was a little unexpected there.
Yeah.
So that's another nod to Rick because like he speaks
What's up, John?
So Rick is a raging alcoholic, and so throughout the show, whenever he speaks, he just belches right in the middle of words and just keeps going.
Yeah, all the time.
So I had to swallow like 50 gallons of air to get that exactly right.
And it was hilarious, man. We had so much fun doing that song. And then also another nod to the show, the guitar solo, the melody of the guitar solo is the melody from the theme song of Rick and Morty. So
yeah, Rick and Morty fans will find several little nuggets
there's some good
in there.
Easter eggs and stuff in there for them.
So I hate to admit that I'm not a Rick and Morty fan, but not because I don't want to be. It was one of those things where I heard so much about that I was like, I have a rule of 3. where I don't watch anything until its third season is done.
Oh,
Well, it's in its
season
fifth
five.
season.
Well,
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
now it's become one of those things where it's like I hear, and it sounds like something that I would absolutely love.
It's really
just wanna wait till
smart.
it's done.
It's
Yeah,
it's
really
really
smart humor.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you're waiting until it's done, you're going to be waiting a while because
Oh,
like
is it not?
after season
just-
4,
they just got renewed
They
for,
renewed
like-
for like 72 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, never mind. I'll
So,
start
yeah.
watching now.
I
I will
would.
start watching.
It's
I
on
I
Hulu,
thought that
yeah,
it was
you
the
can-
last season was like this year or next year. So I
Well,
was
so
like,
they originally, like, was it season 3? Season 3 ended, and then they didn't have seasons for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I
it was
think.
like 2-year
And
break.
then finally they got an agreement with Adult Swim or
Yeah.
somebody like that.
okay.
Jamie, you'll like
it's
it
fun.
because it's not just smart, it's science smart.
And that's
Yeah.
what everyone
Oh,
tells me.
yeah,
and you know
dude.
I love that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Science
Oh, it's
smart.
hilarious.
You know,
And they play
So-
with interdimensional travel and all kinds of fun
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
So,
there's so many dimensions.
There's an episode where the dimensions start splitting, and that one
Oh,
gave me
man.
a headache
Yeah.
the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
like,
like- remember when
16 versions of them all talking at the same time,
And they're all slightly different, and so your brain is like, stop,
it's so
please.
much overload. But
yeah, it is.
See, that
What was
sounds
what
like
was it that
fun.
Carrie said? Can you bring that back up? Because I
Yep, I
only
will.
saw it for like
So
a couple
John is
seconds.
John, you feel my pain. You feel me, right? Like we got to wait till after so many seasons. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
CPJ said, I think it's awesome that you guys take pride in crossing T's and dotting I's. You hit on some of those points on Sandy's show. As a dream builder in my craft, it is wonderful to see people doing it right, as a lot do not.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
So mad props to y'all.
That
Appreciate
was
it.
our number one goal with doing this album. Is we said we're not gonna do it unless we do it right.
And being in the video production world, like we've seen people get sued by Coldplay for using their songs in wedding
Yeah, actually, a
videos.
friend of ours in Austin
and
did.
so like there's been a massive shift just in our industry of it,
Right.
just
like
make sure you
I-
have it.
Our album may never go anywhere. Nobody may ever hear it. But if they do and we get sued, we're done.
Yeah.
So, forking out a couple $100 to make sure that we don't get sued for $1 million, I'd call that a good investment.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or
Sandy's over here. Well, I've never heard of Rick and Morty. So
Well,
Sandy,
but Sandy doesn't
Sandy
watch
hadn't heard of anything.
Yeah.
Man, like, Jamie, I don't know if you watched that whole show, but like every time we'd be like, movie quote, great
Oh,
movie
guys.
quote. And she's just like, huh? And it's like,
Yeah, I'm
Sandy.
if I had watched it live, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it because I heard y'all stayed on for like 2 hours. So one,
Yeah,
that's
did,
something
yeah.
Sandy rarely ever does. And two, I would have messaged y'all and been like, guys, they're all gonna just
Yeah.
We
but
kind of knew.
you know what
going
though?
in.
Like we do it for us,
okay.
and then
good,
other
good.
people just get to be around for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know what emoji that is.
That looks like balding, Jamie.
or
I
babies.
think it's maybe it's the big bald baby dudes from Vegas.
Don't say
Okay, let's
Yeah,
move
move on,
on.
yeah.
Keep going.
Move along.
Okay, so
So
let me
we're-
bring up. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
We're on the Monster Within and Mirror Mirror. And
Okay,
I
so-
took some notes here, and I
Go
said-
for it, man. If we pass one of the songs that you
No,
put a
no.
note on,
So
put
I
forward.
really liked Mirror Mirror. I liked the sound of that one a lot. So that's why
Thank you.
I took some notes and that one. But I think my all-time favorite is a couple songs down. But we'll keep going. Go ahead.
Okay,
You're
so with Monster Within, I noticed just now that there's a Rip Wayne Static.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
So there was a band that hit the scene in 1999 called Static X.
Yes.
Big metal band.
So did you see Queen of the Damned?
Yes. yes.
So the song "Cold, We're So Cold"
Yes,
that was Static
Static
X.
that was
yeah.
Static.
That
Wow,
was
I didn't
that was
even know
Static
that.
X. Yep.
So I didn't
They're-
listen to them, but I knew of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wayne Static, the one of the founding members, died. Man, it was November 1st, 2014.
Yeah, it was 7 years.
7 years ago, and so
It was an
the first metal song I ever heard that I remember hearing and like loved was a song called "I'm With Stupid" by Static X, and that was just something that stuck with me forever. And through a series of just happenstance, really, nice. I actually became friends
Oh,
with.
Sandy knows.
I know.
Oh,
that's
nice,
great.
nice.
Yeah.
So, but I actually
about-
became friends with the remaining surviving members, and so that song is very derivative of Static X, and the original drummer, who's back with them as their current drummer, contributed to the song. So there is actually some of Static X in that song.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I want to share one of the lyrics from this song. The first lyric in there, it says, "One more night, one more hit, undercover, I can't feel it. Hold it down, gone to waste. One more life, one more taste."
Mm-hmm.
You know what's so crazy is I'm reading these lyrics, I'm seeing the amount of words in there, but when I'm remembering listening to the songs today, I'm like, man, I feel like it was more like an asteroid, and I get that words sometimes don't ever, they don't really convey it all and stuff, but when I was listening to your music, it was much larger than just the words I'm reading. And of course, we don't take account the sounds and everything else going on. Right, when you read the lyrics. So,
yeah.
There.
So,
all right.
The cool thing about that song is when it's one of the first riffs I think I wrote for the album, but we wanted one that was just kind of like metal, like old metal 90s.
Evil disco
is what they call Static X. So, and then when we started forming that song around Static, I was like, okay, let's do it. And really what's cool is the guy who mixed the album at one point went up against the guy who mixed Static stuff for years on for another, I can't remember who it was that he was.
It was Powerman.
Oh, for Powerman 5000.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the guy who mixed our album, when we said, hey, this song specifically is very...
We want it to sound like Static.
It's a homage to Static X,
yeah,
so we want it to sound that way. So it's a lot more gravelly.
I don't want to. Well, and I don't want to be a band that's like, oh, so you guys sound like that. We don't want to intentionally sound like anybody else. Now, if people they're like, man, I could hear some of so and so or so like that. That's okay, but. I don't want every song to be derivative of another band, but this one specifically was.
I mean,
this one called out. This one,
it did, and it's written about
almost like it demanded it.
It did, and so we're actually in a Static X group on Facebook, and so we shared the teaser. Came out Saturday, I think, but we shared it earlier last week
Thursday or
with
so.
them. And a lot of those people were like, "Dude, we had so many comments that said this is the closest thing I've ever heard to Static. That's not them.
Wow, man.
Ever." And that's Ross really was smart, but also you throw yourself to the wind and hope that you stick, because they could have just totally destroyed us. Because fans, music fans of any artist,
right.
When you try to emulate their favorite artist, they're either like, "Wow, that was really good," or they destroy you. Yeah. There is no in between.
I think we had Wayne not died, it would be different,
right?
But since it was a tribute to Wayne, I think that's one of the reasons that we got away with it, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that it's been so well received.
Yeah. I know how it can be. Like I remember hearing about like even what was it? Like Kurt Cobain, right? And what's her name? She really
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love.
Yeah.
Really keeping a tightness on everything, right? Very contrary to when I think about like Prince, for example, who has a freaking storehouse of music. Which, by the way, he had a new album dropped this year, right? And it was really good, guys. But anyway, his sister came out and was like, "Look, he left instructions to make sure that this music got out, or that we had control over it. He didn't want to release it himself, but she was like, I'm going to make sure that you all get this music." So, just a big difference there. So I'm glad to see that you felt compelled to give homage to someone, and then you followed through with it. And I think that the song was actually really good too. So
cool. Thank you.
I'm with Joe on the next one. I'm going to let Joe take the next one because I really enjoyed it too, but I know Joe said he wrote specific notes for Mirror Mirror.
No, I just wrote it down and said I liked it.
I like it too.
I like your notes, Joe.
Yeah, I was like,
they're my notes.
Yeah,
that's why I walked out of college.
It's like, so I had my notes. I wrote down my notes and said I like the ending of Get Swifty, and then Mirror Mirror, and then the next song that we're going to talk about. But I was like,
okay.
Because I think just the sound of Mirror Mirror was pretty good. That because I like
it's a ballad.
Yeah, because you guys understand you're not my main source of music and how I go and
absolutely.
listen to it. But I listen to I was able to listen to the whole thing. it was,
Wow.
and so
Some of it was a struggle. He really pulled through, but he
right.
did
No,
it.
no, like it wasn't that much of a struggle. So, like,
Well, that's good.
Yes, there's some like War. I've heard that, and I just.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
But you guys, it was like pleasant the whole way through. It wasn't too much, but it definitely was rock and hard rock, and so
Yeah.
that's what I enjoyed
Thank
it.
you.
But I'm glad that we sprinkled in some more of the ballads and some of the slow stuff too.
So-
that was cool.
Check out the chorus for this one. Is that okay? Can I share
Yeah,
this?
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
for
that's
it.
fine.
Check out this one, guys. The chorus for this one says, "As the colors turn to gray, with eyes wide open, as my memories slip away, my soul is burning out, and as I'm crying out, demons will drag me down. Mirror, please don't let me fade." It's a great song. It's a really good song. It's definitely, I'd venture to say, it's one of the more memorable songs, guys, on
I
the
would
album.
too. I would
You know,
totally agree.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard this, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of the ones that you see on the top 5 in the Spotify playlist for
I hope.
Labor
I
12.
hope so.
And it's not a bad thing, and it's not a bad reason.
Yeah.
It's a really really good song. I will say I don't remember, again, not remembering the names with the sounds that I heard.
That's fine.
One of the things I was very pleased to see on your album, though, and I don't know if this is normal or not, I just paid attention to it now, but the pianos, the keys in your album, I thought were absolutely, for lack of a better term, gorgeous at
Thank
the times that you put them in there. And we haven't even gotten to the one song where I can recall them vividly now. But for the rest of them, I thought, man, the sprinkling of those keys throughout the album and some of the songs, like, some of them it's real heavy at the end, others they're sparkled throughout.
Yeah.
But very great choices and decisions of however you laid those out there, guys.
Thank
A
you.
lot of that we've got to give credit to our producer and mixing
Yeah.
engineer Evan Rodenish.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want to be considered a fifth band member, but he really was.
Oh, totally. Totally.
In the early stages, I thought I wanted to mix the album, and then quickly realized that I like mixing, but it's not my forte.
Not that much.
And he's done it for several big names out there, and he's a friend that I've had for almost 15 years. And I've wanted him to do albums, and we just decided to bite the bullet. And the key to having a good producer is you can write and you can record good songs, but a good producer is what makes them great songs.
Yeah.
And
You hear that, Joe?
makes-
Say that again, Russ. A little bit louder for those in the back. What was that again?
I heard something. Yeah.
a good producer will take good songs and make them great, and
Yeah.
take an entire album and make it a cohesive unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like he gave us our sound really, because like we'd hear songs, we're going, yeah, okay, that makes me think of so and so, or this da 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 da, and then we get them back, and it's like, this sounds like us.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound like.
Well, so
another
Mirror
band.
Mirror was the very first mix we got back from him. And
Oh,
it
are you
was,
kidding?
Yeah, it was our very first one.
Wow.
So we had an event that we were going to that all of us were going to happen to be there, and Ross got it back, and he wouldn't send it to any of us. He was like, we're listening to this together. Thank you, Sandy. Yes. Suffocate and Mirror Mirror. And so we sit in our drummer's car. He has a Dodge something or other that's got a pretty great sound system in it. So we sat there and played, and it's just quiet, like it's done. And we're like, honestly, my first reaction was disappointment.
Really?
And people are like, yeah, really? How was that? And I was like, we don't sound like anybody. And then about 3 seconds after that, I go, we don't sound like anybody. Yeah. And so, and honestly, I cried the first time I listened to it. I mean,
I think we all did.
I think we all cried because it was, one, a relief to find out that we didn't just spend, at that point, 6 months or so totally wasting our time.
So we got it back in July,
in
and
July.
we had started recording back in December.
Yeah.
And that song specifically, and we didn't finish till August, so we spent the better part of 8.5 months recording.
Yeah.
But that song, if anybody wants to, on our YouTube channel, we have a series of mini documentaries.
Yeah.
And this song, we didn't know where it was going to happen in the schedule, but I was at lunch. I was at the mall eating Chinese food, and with my wife, and I got I don't remember if I got a phone call. I don't remember how I found out, but I heard that a longtime friend had died, and the circumstances surrounding it all pointed to suicide, which that was the case. And
Yeah, that was going to be my question because the song kind of sounds like somebody's
it's
lost.
that's specifically
exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Debating about whether or not they should do that.
So it's like for us, it's not really a debate. It is, the song is very much, I want it to be a battle cry. And when we play the song live, the way we introduce it is, we talk about, 3 demographics of people. Raise your hand if you know somebody who has lost someone to suicide. Second group, if you or your family have lost somebody to suicide, put your hands up. In the third group, and I tell everybody, once your hands up, keep it up. But the third group is if you've ever felt like that was your only way out, taking your life was your only solution, I want you to put your hands in the air, and then I want you to look around and see all the hands in the air and realize that you are not alone. Nobody, there's nobody in this room that would tell you that the world would be better off without you. And so, but with that, we recognize that it's not reasonable. Like that's not a feeling you can hold on to in those dark moments. Like when you're about to pull the trigger or you're about to take the pill, you're the only person that you can count on. And so that song is for you to hold on and ask the person in the mirror, please don't let me fade. And it came from our brother has struggled with thoughts of suicide for years, since the 2nd grade.
Wow.
As the result of some abuse from a teacher he had, and my daughter has dealt with it. And the song was written, I think it was not long after the Super Bowl no, it couldn't have been. It had to have been before that. But Super Bowl 2020, we lost a friend to suicide in Dallas. And then within a couple days, we lost another one. So this song, it's very much an anthem to, it's just, I want it to be something that people can hold on to. And, if I've had a couple people come up and tell us stories, and not a couple, we've had several people come up and tell us stories after the shows. One of the most remarkable ones was a guy that we were playing a show, and he said, man, tonight was going to be my last night. And y'all played that song, and it made me think about my daughter, and I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So, I mean, the song has served its purpose. It has saved one life. And so it's a very, very important
huge
song
deal
to us.
Right.
So John says here, I lost my brother, and a few months ago, my soldier to suicide. A couple other people I know, 29 a day.
Yeah.
CPJ
exactly
said,
right.
praise the Lord for all voices for positive mental health.
Yeah. So one thing we have on the website is it's on our crowdfunding page right now. We are going to designate a mirror page sometime after Friday. But on our crowdfunding page, there is you can go through the purchase process. It's absolutely free, but we have a mirror memorial and survivor thing that you can buy. We have some of them in our album, but part of the page, part of that web page is going to be memorializing people that we've lost and celebrating those that have either attempted and failed or decided not to,
Survive
you know,
the thoughts,
however they survived it, we want to celebrate their survival. So
So
The
yeah,
Mirror Memorial Survivor.
yes,
I
yes.
see that. It's
Yeah,
on the
so-
crowdfunding. So
yeah.
everyone,
Yes.
I put it in the comments.
Yep.
You can go there. It's their whole crowdfunding site, but one of the backings down there in the middle, it says Mirror Memorial /Survivor.
Yeah.
and
And
it's
it's at your
absolutely
price.
free.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to, make a donation or whatever, we greatly appreciate that. But we made sure that it was free, so that
We
people
don't
didn't-
want anybody to think that we're trying to take advantage of suicide, but
Right.
so you can get your memorial for
Right.
15 cents a day, like that. That's it's way too close and way too personal for us, but at the same time, we wanted to make that's how some people want to honor those
Yeah.
that they've lost, and so it's been a big deal.
Right.
I appreciate that, guys. And I'm not trying to put it under the rug.
No,
we don't have
no.
too much time.
Yeah, we
and I
we
want to
don't
get
have
to the
much time
rest.
left. Yeah.
So we can talk more about it later or another time and make sure there's plenty of posts. But so if we move on, after Mirror Mirror, we've got a couple other songs. Brother.
It is not. It's not about. No, it's not. It's not.
So it's curious because one of the lyrics in there says, "Don't lie to me."
Don't lie to me. Oh, I lie to him all the time.
So, but I want to skip over that one because again, timing. But Everglade.
Yeah, that's the one with the piano in it.
Everglade
Yes.
is awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
my favorite
That
one.
is so hard to listen to, guys. That is
It really
okay.
is.
Yeah.
First question I have: Who's the lady at the beginning,
So that's
or who does she represent?
I'll take
Yeah.
I'll take this one.
Okay.
The song was written around 2012, originally for a lady that we grew up in church with that had Alzheimer's, and so Jacob was hardly. Were you still in high school when you
Oh,
wrote
yeah,
it?
totally.
Okay,
I was
so
a
it's
junior in high
more
school.
than it's earlier than
it's about
2012.
12 years old.
So like 2010 probably.
Yeah.
So
2009.
he wrote that song for her, and as as we were pulling music together, it was a song of his that I've always loved, but our grandmother has suffered with dementia, and so I asked Jacob, and asked very, very hard, many times, can I love the song, but can we repurpose it for Mima? Because it's still appropriate, but I don't want to take it away from the original meaning if you're not okay with that. And he was like, dude, I love that. Let's do it. And so the second question, which really hard eggshells, I was like, can we rewrite some of the lyrics? Because he was in high school.
Oh, they're
they
so
were
bad.
they were very forced.
They were
and
very on the nose,
very
yeah.
immature. And he was like, dude, the lyrics are so bad. Let's
While we're scrapping lyrics,
just
let's
do
scrap
it.
the old piano because I've learned a thing or two.
Yeah, let's just and I asked if I could work on rewriting lyrics, and I didn't figure that would be too big a deal because once you've written something, it's so hard to come up with something else.
Oh my goodness.
I
I ruined a song for us for months because of that.
Jerk. There's another song, "The Last Goodbye." He was like, yeah, actually that had other lyrics too that I don't want to use, and I was like, I can't hear them.
I don't even want to.
I don't want to hear them because I don't want that to ruin what I want to do with the song. But so I went and. It was so hard to rewrite. We rewrote the verses. The choruses stayed the same, but the verses I rewrote those. You would not.
Hey, you know what? It may wind up there some point.
Maybe on a deluxe
it.
version.
Yeah, a deluxe edition.
but-
of crappy lyrics.
The
Labor
director's
12.
cut.
but it was like I don't think of myself as just this ultra poetic person, but the lyrics just at one point they just hit,
And on every song, it feels like.
and so it that song. So it does start off with a voicemail from our grandmother.
Yeah.
And it was a voicemail to him on his birthday. And it was one of the last, it may be the last thing anybody has that is a recording of her before she lost her confidence.
Yeah.
And so that was something that it was, it was like,
It's
I don't-
such a beautiful song, guys.
Yeah.
It's so hard to listen to.
It
but
is.
it's such
So,
a beautiful one.
Explain the name because it's definitely not in the lyrics.
Yeah.
No, so the Everglade was the last street she lived on before we had to take her out of her home. We moved. She lived in Odessa, Texas, and we moved her up here to Lubbock, Texas, to live with us, our parents. And then things progressed to a point where it wasn't going to be safe. We weren't gonna. We work at our parents' house most of the time, and we could watch her for a lot of that. But then we hit a point where we started being gone more and more.
Yeah.
And our mom got a mostly full part-time job. Our dad is gone all the time with his side job, and it just wasn't safe for her to be there. And so, like the song was originally called "Empty Eyes," and that to me it felt derogatory. I don't know if that's a right. It felt too negative.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't.
I-
And those are actually lyrics in the song, but. I was like, Jacob, what do you think about naming the song Everglade? Because her mother, that was her mother's house, and she ended up moving in with her mother there because her mother suffered with
Also suffered
dementia.
dementia,
And
yeah.
I was like, that's kind of like it's ground zero
Yeah.
Wow.
for that, and so that's the name.
Yeah.
Let me share with you guys some lyrics because I know this set of lyrics right here can reverberate with some of us out there. But it says, "The sun begins to set, though dawn will never break. There's so much to regret. There's too much now at stake. Your journey to the void, and my soul calls to the sky. I'd give my world to have more time." Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard listen to,
It
but it's
is.
one of those.
It
It's a
is.
feel good.
Yeah.
I have to be by myself to listen to it. I
Oh,
don't have a
dude.
problem listening to it,
We-
and I can't be
we-
driving or anything. I need to.
We
just
rehearsed
be.
it tonight, and I fell totally to pieces. So that's the only song I sing lead on, and I sing it in the choruses, and that's it.
If so, not really a fun story, but something that you have to listen for in the first chorus of that song. When he kicks in, it's just the acoustic guitar, it's just the piano, and it's him.
Yes.
If you
Ooze and
listen, his voice is breaking.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many takes it took just to get that first one down.
Yeah.
And he finished, and he's like, let me recollect. I can do it better. And I was
Yeah,
like, nope,
yeah.
that's the one. Like, I would rather have an technically not good take
Yeah.
that captures the emotion, the pain. Like, it's like, I would
Like that's part of it. That's not
The
it's-
emotion-
Don't focus on the
Right.
perfection of
the
song.
emotion. The
It's-
emotion trumps the technicality.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so
because it comes across, we can feel that. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes
It's like
us on a journey.
when Johnny Cash did "Hurt," like it became his song because
Right,
of
yeah.
the pain that you could feel the emotion in
Right.
the song.
Yeah, yeah.
When he did that song.
So,
So
yeah,
I noticed
yeah,
at the end of the
it's
song,
the same way.
there's this drum, I think maybe, that plays,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I hear, so the 3 or 4 or 5 times that I've heard it today, every time I hear the drum, I keep thinking, is it someone crying? Is it supposed to be someone crying? Is it a heartbeat? I mean, I don't know if any of that is intentional, but
that was something that the producer added. That wasn't. And there's a little bit of like you hear this, and that's actually the piano, the sustain pedal
yeah, it's a sustained
going. But like
okay.
the song, like it's just so. Our drummer was like, is he gonna leave that in there? And I was like, dude, like to me that makes the song just that much more intimate because it just feels like you are there,
Sitting at
you
the
are
feet of the
sitting
piano,
in
yeah.
it.
it
And-
does. And you know what? I've spent a lot of time on this song.
No, you're
For
good.
those of you
You're
out
good.
there, when you get the album, make sure you're in a good spot by yourself. This is my opinion. This is my advice to listen to the song because it's worth it, though. It's worth it.
Well, you
But
know,
it
and
is definitely
Joe.
it's-
Joe mentioned earlier that, it's maybe not every song is his favorite, but he could listen to a lot of them. And one of our biggest influences is Collective Soul, right? And
Oh, yeah.
I love Collective Soul for the absolute variety that they have on every single record, up to like Youth was the last one I listened to. They've probably had 3 or 4 since then. I haven't listened to them really, but there's a song here that's got piano, and then there's a song that's got like orchestra, and then there's like a hard rock song, and there's like
And it all flows.
and it all
and it
flowed
fits.
and it all
It
works.
does.
So that was one of our big things, is that, I'm not here to write just a banger of an album where every song you got to smash your head against a wall. I
Well,
wanted it
and,
to be
like really. Is this? I don't care how this sounds. Actually, we didn't write this song for other. We didn't write this album for other people.
Yeah.
We wrote it for us.
Yeah.
And we want it to be for other people, something that other people can enjoy. But honestly, I mean, if somebody come in, well, the songs are just kind of all over the place, I'd be like, I don't.
okay. Cool,
Okay,
thanks.
But
yeah.
but yeah, exactly.
Thanks for
But
noticing us.
but it didn't come off that way. I don't think
No.
it comes off that way. I mean,
No,
it's
no,
still
no,
just
no.
that's a
one-
lot to do
Yeah.
with the producer too. Like, he really used elements across
Well,
the board and tied it together.
But even before, like listening to the demo versions that we have, they all still like they all sat on a demo album together really well. So,
And I wish we could hear the demo parts, because I got to tell you what the producer and you look. I think your producer rocked this out. Don't get me wrong.
He
'cause
did.
we
Yeah,
talk
he
about
did.
what
And
they've
he's
done
amazing.
on here, but even then, he can only make. He's not making greatness. He's taking greatness and just fashioning it better. If that makes
Yeah.
sense, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
it
Yeah,
has
like-
to be great already. to
The
start with.
the original.
I-
It's like shooting photos, Joe. If you shoot overexposed crap, it doesn't matter how good you are at
like
Photoshop.
his job wasn't polishing a turd.
right.
Like we
Yes.
did, like we went to I don't know, in the $1 million recording world, I don't know that we went to many extremes to do this album, but for us, we went to every extreme we could. We poured every ounce we had into this album
Yep.
because we wanted it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And not necessarily perfect by anybody's standards, but ours.
Yeah.
And this is something that y'all can identify with. You're your own worst critic.
Right.
Yep.
And and I can listen to this album. One of the things I was worried about was being like, by the time we were done with it, going, man, I freaking hate this thing.
Yeah, I
And
never
we shot a
wanna hear it
music
ever
video.
again.
We shot a music video earlier this year for a local artist that by the time we got around to by the time we shot her music video, she hated her song.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like you hear it so many times, it's hard to do, but like I don't feel that way
Yeah.
about this. I
I don't know that I
listen
ever
to
will.
it.
I think for me, probably what keeps that from happening is that this is a dream I've had since I was 8. So for the last
Wow.
20 years, I wanted to be a musician, and I did other things. And I did the college thing, and I did the run a business, the run the business thing, but I always wanted to be a musician. That I spent all of high school playing my guitar, not doing my homework, because I was like, I'm going to be a musician. And then it all happened at the right time finally. And so for me, it's like that dream came true, and I hope that I never get jaded down the road to it, because it wasn't just by our hands that this happened. It was by the hands of 60 some odd other people who helped back the album.
Just the endless support and
Yeah.
like one of the things that I think is a big
Oh, yeah.
deal. Yeah, there you go.
There's the dedicated backers.
So one of the really cool things for me is like I've heard first albums. I've been a part of first albums that's like
Yep, there's Sandy right there.
You know,
whose
it's
name I
like-
don't see? Joe. Or Jamie, actually.
Oh, going there.
but I backed it.
You
So-
did.
so
This was at the
this
top
is-
It
level.
is enough.
Yeah, so this backer list, everybody here donated at least $75 or more. So that was part of their perk, is that their name got printed in the album forever.
Yeah.
How cool is that, Sandy?
But
That's pretty cool.
back to what I was saying. Like I've had first albums that it's like, okay, we got one done.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
Let's move on. And this one, I don't like. the guy that owns the record store here, we're having a listening party at Ralph's Records here in Lubbock,
Nice.
Texas on Friday
At 5 p.m.
And the owner, Doug, like he just heard the first single and he was like, it's listenable. Like if nothing else, like he said, it's a good song, but like in its bass form, it's listenable. Like it's not you have to listen past a bad mix or bad recording to just hear how good the song is. Like at face value, it's listenable, and like that was a huge deal for me, and so I'm just ecstatic.
Well, I will give you this compliment. So I shared your because when we were messaging back and forth on where to listen to it and stuff like that, I was at work and I sent the link over to one of my coworkers, and a few minutes later he came by and goes, "Joe, I'm going to do something that I haven't done in 10 years." And I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "I bought an album. I bought the
Yes. Awesome.
So
You know what? One of us might actually hand deliver it to him.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, he
I'm so
really enjoyed it. So he
Good.
Yeah, he really liked it. So and
That is
awesome.
well. That's
it's cool
that's a
that
big
music,
deal for us.
As soon as I was listening to it, I was like, these guys would love it. So my employer
Good.
really did.
That's what we're hoping people do, even if it's not their first cup of tea or.
Well, that's been one of the interesting things, like the demographic. Like I run sound for a cover band here, and most of them are, I would say, at the youngest in their 50s, except for the singer who's a little bit younger than I am, mid 30s. And none of them like hard rock. None of them would choose to listen to it, but they've come to a couple shows and they're like, I don't know how y'all did it, but I love what y'all are doing. I don't like this kind of music, but I love y'all's music.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge compliment throughout this whole thing.
So, and I my main thing, I can't handle country guys. Rock, I really like.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed listening to the album today. Look, I want to be respectful of time. You
Yeah,
guys
we
said
could
you had a hard
probably
stop at
squeeze.
10,
We could
10.
probably squeeze a little more time.
We
yeah.
probably got a little more.
All right, so our job in the morning, we actually found out we're starting later than we thought.
That
So-
and the guys moved almost everything out except for a couple of things that we have to
rest this out
grab.
in the morning. If we
Okay,
want.
well, make sure you give me a signal real quick when it's over because I want to
be
just
like-
cover a few more things before we'll let you go. Okay.
I did
There
it all
you
the
go.
way out here, but nobody would have seen that. So yeah.
Gave her my morning lips.
So look, I cannot stress how much enjoyment I got out of listening to this. And for all of you out there wondering how you can get a hold of this, I want you guys to kind of tell everyone what are some of the things going on this week, because this is a big week. The album
It
drops
is
this
a
Friday officially,
gigantic
right?
week. Yes.
And you guys are busy, and everything's going on there in Lubbock, right? And so, just share with everyone what is going on with Labor 12. What can everyone do? How is this all going to work out?
So the album's getting distributed, very enunciated, but it's going everywhere. Every digital platform available. It will go
full
live
distribution.
On Friday midnight in your
12
time
a.m.
zone.
in your time zone. Yeah.
So I get midnight Thursday, but technically Friday.
Yeah,
But
12 a.m.
you can go to laborxii.com. You can pre-buy the album there. If you buy the digital copy or the physical copy from us, there's a little bit extra that's not on the digital copies that you would get from like iTunes
Spotify.
or Google Play or Amazon or whatever.
Music, yeah.
So yeah, those are slightly different from the one that if you back the album, you received the special copy.
Yeah.
And then so if you are in the Lubbock area or in the West Texas region, Sandy, you'll get a copy.
physical copy. Yeah.
But if you're in
Might even get a physical hug with it too.
maybe. I don't know if I
Dang
put
it,
it
now
that
I'm
way.
jealous.
That's kind of.
Speaking of,
that was a little.
We're gonna have to have a discussion with HR.
Sandy's actually geeking out when you said that. She's like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yeah, but like if you're in the area,
There you go, yeah.
if you're in West Texas and you want to make the trip, we're having a listening party at Ralph's Records at 5 p.m. on Friday. So from 5 to 6, there is a listening party. As soon as the last note's over, us guys in the band are bolting to the venue, Jake's back room, for sound check, and all of our platinum backers, the VIPs, get in for the sound check, so they can head over. We'll let them in, and then the show. I guess doors open at 7:30. First band goes on at 8.
Yep.
And
Doors at 7:30, first band at 8.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party afterwards. VIP members stick around. We're gonna do. I'm not gonna really call it a meet and greet. We're gonna have a Q&A so people can ask songs about.
No, I was lucky.
He got lucky.
He did get lucky. I'm actually still a little offended, but he has time until Friday to back it.
Yep. But VIP members, we're going to do a Q&A afterwards. So any questions they have about the band or about the album, we're going to do. We've got a 6x10 banner with the album artwork. We're going to take photos with everybody, and just hang out. Just like you people. What do you mean,
people?
Yeah, what do you mean, you people?
You youths.
But youths. But everybody that backed the album, we want to make sure that they get their time with us.
Yeah, especially we have
some traveling across the country.
Yeah, we had some friends actually drive from Pennsylvania,
Wow.
and I think they'll be here Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were in Fort Worth today, so
Okay.
I don't know if they'll. But yeah, so
Doesn't matter. Moving on.
Flying in.
But
from,
we have people coming in from all over the country for this, which is like really mind-boggling.
Yeah, I know.
To
I
me.
can't believe that they would do.
Who you calling you people? Who you calling?
That's the theme song from the Jeffersons.
What do you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Tropic
Thunder.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it's gonna be really, really awesome. I mean, we had rehearsal tonight. We learned some things that we've got to. We've
got 2 more rehearsals to iron out, and
and I think
we know the music. It's now figuring out our jam space, our rehearsal space isn't very big.
Yeah.
So we got this gymnasium, so we can actually practice moving around like we are on stage.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we're actually gonna have our light show.
Yes.
It's gonna arrive, and we're gonna get that set up.
Yep.
Are you going to be playing whenever you do
Everglade?
Garden? Everglade.
Yeah.
Are you playing also, Jacob?
What do you mean?
He's gonna be playing piano.
So I play the piano on that. Yeah. So
okay.
yeah. So that Ross plays guitar. Everybody else plays their regular instruments, and then I kick over to a keyboard
But I play on a different pickup.
You do play, yeah, yeah. I don't know how it's gonna go Friday. Tonight I just totally lost it in rehearsal, and Saturday when we rehearsed, I was fine. So
Let me give you a tip real quick, okay? I'm not
going to imagine you naked.
No, don't do that. Don't do
Okay,
that.
all right.
Might make you cry even worse.
So one of my things is public speaking. I've done
Yeah.
hundreds of public speakings, and one of the things to help people out whenever you're going to get overwhelmed with emotion, there's 3 things that help out. 2 of them you can't do because one, you're going to be using your fingers to play the keys, which is to squeeze your finger and your thumb together. So that's not going to work out well.
I'll just do them under the keyboard.
Try it with your toes.
Maybe.
But use your left foot because
like
your other
pinky-
one's
Pinky and
Pinky
my
toe
toe
thumb?
thumb?
No,
Yeah.
not your pinky.
Yeah, okay.
So then the second thing is you just got to take a hard swallow, which again, that's not going to help you out if you're
singing in
leading
the middle
vocals,
of it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then finally, the third thing that I tell people is look for right angles. When you look for right angles, it helps you fight back. It helps you not focus.
It's going to be the one stage that's devoid of them.
Oh my gosh!
When did they
don't
put
say
it
that,
around
so-
stage?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like the hard thing is that voicemail at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like that
It
gets us.
gets me every
and
time.
like it was really it was
Yeah.
man recording that
Actually,
song
it wasn't
was really,
supposed to be. It wasn't going to be in there. And then after one of our shows, I went to our drummer's house, Randy, and we were. Oh, what is this?
I can't see it. It's so small.
down album.
Who's a backer now?
Yeah,
Who's a
you
backer
are.
now?
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much.
So tiny though. Jack.
It's
So,
on their website.
Hey, hey, tiny page, big back.
Big backing.
We're good.
Yeah,
We're
right.
good, we're good.
So What was I even saying?
So
the
he went
voicemail.
over.
Yeah, so I went over to Randy's after one of our shows, and I was like, "Hey, I need you to listen to this," because I did this thing years ago, and I'm really glad I did it. I made a Google Drive folder called Happiness, because I have struggled with depression since junior high, I think, probably puberty.
It's a very
weren't
depressing
nice to
time
the
for all
short
of
kid.
us.
So ever since, I've always struggled with that, but I've been fortunate to work with a lot of really great people, producers, friends, and people that have just sent me encouraging notes over the years. And so what I do is I screenshot them and I put them in my Google Drive folder. And then when I'm having a really bad night or really bad time, I'll go through and listen to them. One of those things was that voicemail from our grandmother. She left it on my 25th birthday. I was having what I thought was a midlife crisis. I was just super depressed, and I was like, you're not supposed to be depressed on your birthday. And even when she called me, I was just sobbing on the phone. I didn't even know why. It was just, I don't really remember why I was so upset, but it just was not what your birthday is supposed to be. So anyways, before, I had to call her back because I couldn't even answer when she called me the first time. So she left me that voicemail, which I'm so glad for now. And so we're sitting at Randy's having a couple of drinks, and I was like, hey, listen to this. And he listened to it, and he's like, dude, that has to go. If you want to, that needs to go in the song. And I was like, I can do it, but I don't know if I can do it. And so
Randy's
we talked
the
to the
producer,
guys.
right?
And
No, Randy's our
Randy's
drummer.
our drummer.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Ryan's the producer.
Evan. But
So close.
you'll get there.
yeah, it's
So
okay.
There.
It's already
But-
it's in the album.
Four letters. There's 4 letters in the name.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, and that was
N,
something that like I had wanted to do, and like it was an idea that I had kept to myself, just because like there are things that it's like this is going to be a hard one to sell, because I didn't know if it was having our grandmother read something, or like I didn't know of any good recordings we had, but I knew he had that voicemail, and that was a line I just didn't want to cross. It's like, hey, can we use your voicemail?
Right.
So I never brought it up, and then so when he told me, he's like, hey, so Randy and I had this idea, and I was like, so okay, I've been trying to figure out how to approach this. I've had this idea for a while, not to steal any thunder, but that's how we know that it's like it's a perfect idea.
Right.
When we come at it independently, and I was like, yes, I've been wanting to do that, but I didn't. Like it's a topic you don't want to talk about, and since y'all are bringing it up, and I don't like I already feel like I
have to open the door.
Well, I already felt like I'd kind of barrel rolled through that song anyway, just
I mean,
putting all my stamps on it.
Right. Yeah, he had pushed to make it happen and change lyrics and stuff like that. And as a creator, it's like you have to dance that line, because like and especially when you're creating content that is so extremely personal.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be the Ross show, So I know you wrote the song, but can I change your lyrics? Can we add your? Can we take your voicemail? Like, and so like that voicemail was a line I just wasn't gonna.
And then me and Randy just like we went right over it.
You didn't have to worry about crossing the line. That was your line to cross.
Yeah, right. But it's hard to listen to, because even talking to her on the phone now, she's not quite sure. You can tell she's not quite sure, and so she doesn't have the confidence behind her voice. And when I heard that voicemail, months back, I was like, I lost it, because I was like, I forgot she even sounded like that, and I'm glad I have it.
And it was another thing, like recording that song was extra hard for most of us. Like
all of us, really. Well, I don't know about
Tanner.
I
don't know that
trouble with it.
He hasn't faced anything like that, but like since it was our grandmother, Randy lost his grandmother at the beginning of this year to Alzheimer's, and so it just like it was a punch in the gut. Every time we came in and worked on that song. And
it's so totally worth
like
it.
I would encourage going to the YouTube channel and trying to find the days that we recorded on that song, because you can the emotion, just the raw pain and emotion just radiates, and you can't not feel it unless you're just a soulless cretin.
I was gonna say a spineless pickle, but yeah, soulless cretin works too.
But I mean, we had a spineless pickle in there with
we
us.
did have
It
a
was-
spineless pickle in the.
He could feel it too.
So check this out. We've got to wrap up. But before we wrap up, I have one last question to ask for each of you that you each get to answer, okay? And if it's the same for both of you, that's fine. If it's not, that's great too. I'd like to know, Jacob, Ross, what is each of your top 2, maybe 3 out of the 12 tracks that there are on the album? What is your most memorable? What 2 or 3 were your most memorable tracks for whatever reasons?
Okay.
We'll go with you first, Ross.
Man, I would say, oh, jeez, I
Not to
can't.
say these are the better than the other. What? Not trying to rank them. Just what are 3 more memorable ones for you right this second?
Man, that's so hard because every one of these, the only song that is not that's not extremely personal to me on this album is Head Rush. That was written for our bass player. But every one of these songs has so much significance that, like,
It's like trying to pick a favorite kid.
it really
I got a
is.
favorite kid and I got a best kid, so it's
Like
I have no kids.
Mirror Mirror is probably the most important.
Yeah,
I
I would agree with that.
Because like a few weeks ago we almost lost our brother.
Yeah.
He had a plan. He was hours away from executing and had a panic attack at his job, and they caught him, and he kind of spilled the beans on what he was going to be doing, and they sent him to a facility.
Yikes.
And he was there for a week.
4 days. No, yeah, 4 days.
Yeah.
He went in on Monday and came out on Friday.
Came out on Friday.
Yeah.
And so that one will never not be of the utmost importance to us. Everglade, it's that one. It's a piece. It's got a piece of our grandmother in it, and it also the song is like ripping off a Band-Aid every time we hear it because you have no control. Like it's a song about having absolutely no control over a bad thing that's coming.
Yeah.
The last song, The Last Goodbye, was written for our grandmother. She died not long after sustaining injuries in a car accident. And so that one's very important. And then I would say the last one, I'm giving you 4, is Suffocate.
You can have 4.
Suffocate was the first song we wrote for this band. Well, it was the first song that was written out of this band. He had the music long before the band ever came together. But the song was written for a young lady that we met through I met through a friend at church. This lady works in the hospital and posted, looking for a photographer to come take wedding photos for a young lady that was getting married in the hospital. She had cystic fibrosis. And I reached out. I was like, I can't. We don't do photos. And of course, I talked to Jacob about this before I even offered. But I said we would love to do her wedding video if she would allow us. And so through that, we did her wedding video, and she became a recipient of the nonprofit that I'm on the board of. And just watching her struggle with cystic fibrosis, she ended up, dealing with some internal bleeding. She had a stroke towards the end of her life, and like she and I connected. She got married on my wedding anniversary, which was one really cool connection point. But we were in San Antonio at a concert, the concert that actually broke Jacob down into acquiescing to my request to start a band. But she texted me while we were at this concert, and she was like, "I'm having a terrible night. Can you just come hold my hand?" And I was like, I can't. I'm in San Antonio. But let me call my mom. I can't be there, but I can get somebody up there. And just watching her struggle through that was tough, and that's what the song "Suffocate" was written about. Was quite literally her battle with cystic fibrosis, which took her it took her life in August of 2019, and so that was that one will always be important, because not only does it mean something significant, much like all the other songs, but it was the first song for Labor 12.
Yeah.
Wow. That one was Head Rush?
Suffocate.
Suffocate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Suffocate. Okay.
The very first single. Actually, Jamie, if you want, I'll answer your question, but if you want to hear the original Suffocate demo, is the very first video on our YouTube channel. So you can go hear it, the original demo that we released, and then you can listen to it now. I think that now is eons better, but we had a lot of people comment to us that demo was still one of the better sounding songs they had ever heard.
Man, if that's your demo, I can't imagine what the album's going to sound like.
Yeah. And we
Okay.
couldn't either.
You couldn't, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a listen after we're done here.
I think probably my top 3 or 5 or 12 would be
12.1.
yeah, 12.1 is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say Mirror Mirror, just because I struggled when I was 18. I had a plan to kill myself. I made a lot of really dumb mistakes, and at that point, and this is what I still believe to this day, that suicide is it is, how do I put this? I always have a really good way to put this. It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, right? And so that song has meant a lot to all of us, because we've all known somebody or lost somebody to it. My name's in the survivor list. Ross's name is in the survivor list. Our brother, my niece, friends of ours, and not because we want the light on us, but so people know that, like, we're not just jumping on this bandwagon. We have dealt with it, and so there's the memorial right there. That one is a huge deal to me. It will always be a huge deal to me. Also,
Scoot in.
oh, did I? No, there we go. Also, melodically, it's like one of my favorite songs, because it sounds just like I've always wanted to sound, and like have that like hope anthem kind of feel that I loved so much from so many bands. I mean, I was a huge Creed fan growing up. Mark Tremonti's my favorite guitar player of all time. I've seen him live like 6 or 7 times in various bands, Creed being one of them. We went and saw them 11 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, 2008. They were in Lubbock. Anyways, so like finally having that song, and it's like, yeah, I know. Sorry, Joe. It's like one of my favorites. On top of that, I would have to say most memorable would be Brother, because there's this really cool guitar riff that happened in the studio, and you can actually see it on our mini docs. It was just like, did that happen? That was cool. So that was cool. Third, I would say definitely Everglade. Everglade's going to always mean a lot to me. With my grandma, I was the first grandkid born after her husband died. So we have always been extremely close. I mean, I lived with her for like summers, and it wasn't because my parents, I didn't want to
go home.
I just didn't want to go home. I mean, we went to hockey games together. We watched the movies.
Cool.
We
lucked out with grandparents.
We really
like
did.
I know a lot of people that just dread going and seeing their grandparents, and they just do it because they feel they have a sense of obligation.
I could never wait to see mine.
But we loved our grandparents. They were so much fun.
So, yeah. So, anyways, she's we've always been super close, and so it's like, yeah, that's one of my favorites. And then I'll get a fourth because I just want equality here.
Equal opportunity questions.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see. I would have to say, actually,
I think I know what you're gonna say.
I bet you know
I think I
what I'm
know.
going to say. This song was my least favorite song on the entire record.
He didn't think that he even wanted it on the record.
I didn't even. I was pretty close to saying, "Oh, good night, Sandy."
Bye, Sandy.
Good night, Sandy.
Remember the Alamo.
Squirrel.
So yes, this song I did not even want to be on the album. Like, I liked it at first, and when I wrote the guitars for it and stuff, and then we did vocals for it, and it wasn't that the vocals just weren't what I imagined, and so I was like,
Wasteland.
No, it's actually not Wasteland. So you've got 9 more choices.
Well,
so-
we know it's not Everglade. We know
No, it's not Mirror Mirror. Yeah.
Not good,
So
Swifty.
it's definitely not Swifty. We were gonna get Swifty no matter what. So it was actually Sycophantic.
I would have guessed that.
I was not a fan of it. I just wasn't like. I think it was just that there was something. It to me felt like the emptiest song on the album. Not for lyrical content. It just like something was missing.
It was the weakest.
I felt like it was the weakest song.
Yeah, well,
And-
Brother was too. Until
Brother was.
until we got in the studio.
Yeah, Brother
Like
was
when
not
we
a
got in the
super
studio,
strong
that song evolved
Yeah.
so far. But Sycophantic was just
Yeah.
kind of the, the song meant a lot to me, so I was gonna push really hard to keep it on there.
Yeah.
But then we got
And
the
then
mix back.
We got
and
the
it was
mix
like,
back, and we sat in Tanner's SUV at the time. We sat in there, and it just like the chorus hit, and there's this really cool arpeggiator that that our producer used, and I will give him 100% credit. He made me love this song. It starts, and I was like, oh, and so. Now it's one of my favorites. I love playing it. I didn't even like playing it live, like until we got that mix, and then it's just
because
like,
we were not good at playing it
yeah,
live.
that's also true.
That's why you had practice though. So
Yeah,
you're gonna be good on Friday. You gotta
so
be
we
good on
finally, we definitely have to be good on Friday. We got it back, and I was just like, this is it, and it just stuck out to me. It was like the tightest mix at that point. It just punched. It was like, I was like, okay, cool. If he can turn my least favorite song into my most favorite song, the guy's a freaking wizard. So, so Psycho is probably definitely one of my. It's in my top 5 probably.
I'm gonna listen to it all definitely tomorrow, if not tonight. But I'm gonna go check out the YouTube after
So-
the show's over.
Also, if you want, on our YouTube channel right now, also subscribe, because we need subscribers. We're trying to get to, I think, 1,000 subscribers is where YouTube unlocks that we can actually use actual like URL links in the
Yeah.
videos. You can't use them before then, and I think you have to have 4,000 viewing hours that year, and then 1,000.
That's something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it just keeps them from opening up for everybody, and also makes
Everybody wants
else
to be a
push.
YouTube family.
Yeah.
So, so go subscribe. But if you go subscribe right now, you can listen to 30 seconds of each song up to
I
what's
see
today's
what
date?
y'all did there.
It's November 8th, so Brother released today. Every day up through Thursday, we're going to be releasing 30
teasers.
seconds of each track. You will get 2 on Thursday because we
Or-
wanted to have the
Or you
last
can just
one
be a
go out.
backer. You can be a backer. Just be
Or
a
you
backer.
can be a
okay?
backer. Yeah,
Just
you
be
can be a backer and get the whole
There you
thing
go.
right now.
$10. $10 gets you the album
Just be
Or
a backer,
50.
people.
now.
Come on.
Or
Let's just-
75.
Yeah.
250.
Awesome.
You know, we've
Well,
seen
guys,
some numbers.
it has been so much fun, and I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'm cutting you off right now.
Thank you
Hey,
so much.
if
We
you
need
don't,
to-
we won't.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're like,
But we are super excited to hearing, even though I heard it all, I'm super excited to see you guys' journey, and I love the success that's going to happen. And will
wish I
be
could be there Friday
So I'm
night,
going to
man.
be there for the listening party.
You're coming with Sandy. We've already
I
decided
think
that.
I'm going to try to be there for the listening party. I don't know about Jake's back room, but I would
Hey,
do
it's
my
not
best.
as scary as it used to be.
What's stopping you?
He
No.
likes-
There's
he
some
really
other.
likes-
There's some other stuff involved, but
You
don't.
can find out behind the scenes.
It's behind the
okay?
scenes, but
Okay.
We won't air that out on national
Right,
TV,
exactly,
okay?
Exactly.
So,
thanks so
hey
much, guys. Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all coming on tonight. thanks for reaching out to me and looking
of
for the
course,
opportunity
man.
for us to host you guys up on the week that you're releasing your album. Major props to you for
You were
thinking
my
of
first-
us on that side.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I cannot wait to see how much more success you have over the coming weeks and months as your album gets more attention, guys. I know I'm going to be sharing the living daylights out of it, though, because I really
Perfect.
absolutely enjoy it. And so
Perfect.
for all of
Thank
y'all
you.
watching, please make sure, go check out. The links are in the comments section. Go back it up. Go get the album early. Go Friday night. Just keep going and help
You can
these guys.
pre-order it on
Lubbock and-
iTunes as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and pre-save it or preload it on Spotify.
Mhm.
Everything you can just to get them the love and the attention they need. Share it with your family and friends on Facebook and everything else. And then again, if you can head over to their YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button on there so they can get those get the subscribers increased so they can meet their goals. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna say thank you. We're gonna put you out in the green room while Joe and I wrap up here. Love hanging out with you guys, and we will talk
of
to you in
course.
just a bit. Okay,
Thank
All right,
you.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Yeah. Thank you all.
awesome.
Those
Man,
guys are so fun
I know.
and
Like,
so wordy.
I don't mind the wordiness, but I don't mind it because I like, you know what?
Right.
How many times do we always want to guess guess that can actually interact
Right,
and,
yeah,
and
exactly.
hold it?
And-
you know what I mean? So
Yeah, and be able to articulate their feelings and their emotions and what's going
yeah,
on. and
you know,
stuff
it's like
that.
in my house when I tell my kids or my niece is learning, right? My niece is learning because she's only been with us for a few months. But so when I ask her a question, she'll be like, I don't know. And I'm like, you better get out of here with that. I don't know. That's not
You
an
better-
answer in the Pina
You
household
better
over
put
here.
it together. Put
You
it
better,
together.
yeah, you better think that out and make that longer, okay? Because we don't accept I don't know in this house. So anyway, yeah. So today's only Monday. After doing the show right now, I kind of feel like it's almost the end of the week, Joe.
Right, exactly. We'll see you sometime.
Man, so okay. So anyway, guys, I'm only going to just mention it once. We're still doing the Pineapple Project. So if you want to throw a couple bucks in Venmo, go ahead and head over there now. Hit the Venmo app, and then just throwing a couple bucks over there to the thanks, Joe, to the Pineapple Project. Again, we're doing that so that we can give Christmas gifts for kids. We'll talk more on that on Wednesday. And then Friday, please go check them out over at Ralph's Records. They'll be out there. Is there only one Ralph's Records now, Joe?
I believe so, yeah. It's on
Okay.
80, if it's still on 82nd, I think so. But
Okay.
we'll let you know.
We'll let you know. We'll put a link or put it in the comments.
Right.
But go check out Ralph's Records on Friday night at 5:30 p.m. They're going to be there. And then after that, they're going to go over to head to Jake's. So support them any way you feel like you can. And, you know, if it's date night, go check them out. It's going to be a fun time. I mean, the music is really, really, really,
Yeah, it's
really good, guys.
It's really good. Even if it's not your cup of tea, which is not my cup of tea, but it's really good.
Yeah, so I kid you not, I am not stressing this enough that like I really, 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 really enjoyed their album, and I know you're going to also. So just give them a chance, check it out, and share it with everyone else. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
So Roth Records is on 82nd Indiana, just like
Okay.
that. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
It used to
Thanks.
be a big pink building. I don't know if it's still pink, but
Oh, that's right. Next to the Bigham Smokehouse, and
well,
and
it's not Bigham Smokehouse anymore. But yeah.
Oh. It was so hard to travel through Lubbock and see the growth that's going on, but also to see all my favorite stuff is going now
It's changing,
and being
yeah.
replaced. You know, Rib Crib, Hastings.
Bingham's still around though. It's still around. It's just not in that location.
Oh, okay. That's good. All right, so Sandy will be back with us Wednesday night. Guys, throw us some questions and stuff if you have, because I'd like to do on Wednesday what Joe, Sandy, and I were talking about. We're thinking about doing a relationship episode on Wednesday. And what that means is we just want to talk about all things relationship as far as like marriage, dating, and just talk about some of the things. We're going to scour Reddit for some questions and scenarios that people do. You're going to hear our 2 cents on that. We're probably just going to talk about some random topics related to relationships, dating, and marriage, and just get your opinion. So throw some questions out on the Facebook page. Message any one of us individually if you want, and we'll make sure to get those questions and topics brought up on the show on Wednesday. Sound good?
Sounds good. I love it.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, so
Do you know it? I know it by heart.
I think I do know it by heart. So I'm not going to try, but I don't know Sandy's by heart.
I know
so-
Sandy's part.
Okay, well then you do Sandy's, and then
Okay.
let me cue up the video. And everyone, we love you. And I think I'm going to change the beginning because I don't like all right, everyone. I'm going to be like, as usual,
Remember to be kind and rewind.
look for and meet new friends.
You
You filthy animals. Love y'all guys. Have a good
Toodles.
night.